Hey guys, buckle up, because this story is going to take you on a wild emotional ride. It's one of those family secrets that started innocently but changed everything in ways I never imagined. If you're loving these real-life tales of complicated relationships, hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment below sharing your own stepfamily story. Your thoughts keep me going. Part 1. The Family Setup and the Spark That Ignited It All. Hi. I'm Emily, a young woman in my early 20s at the time this all started, with long, wavy brown hair and bright blue eyes that my mom always said made me look like a doll. Life had thrown me some curveballs early on. My dad left when I was little, and Mom raised me alone for years. She worked 2 jobs, but we were close, like best friends. Then, when I was 18, she met David, a kind guy with a steady job as a mechanic. He had a son from his previous marriage, Ryan, who was 16 then. They got married quickly, and just like that, we were a blended family living in a cozy 3-bedroom house in the suburbs of Denver. At first, it was awkward. Ryan was tall for his age, with dark hair like his dad's, and these intense green eyes that seemed to see right through you. He was quiet, into video games and skateboarding, not the outgoing type. I was starting college locally, studying art, full of energy and dreams. We shared the house, me in my room with posters of bands and sketchbooks everywhere, him in his with gaming setups and band t-shirts. Mom and David were happy, always laughing, making family dinners a thing. But Ryan and we were polite strangers at best. Good morning, pass the milk, that kind of thing. As time passed, though, living together brought us closer in small ways. We'd bump into each other in the kitchen late at night, grabbing snacks, and chat about school or movies. He had this dry humor that cracked me up once I got it. I noticed things about him, how he helped his dad fix the car without being asked, or how he'd leave drawings on the fridge sometimes, little cartoons that showed he had talent too. He wasn't my brother by blood, but the label stuck because of our parents. Still, deep down, I started feeling this pull, like he was someone I wanted to know more about. By the time I was 22 and he was 20, we'd settled into a rhythm. I was finishing my degree, working part-time at a coffee shop, going out with friends on weekends. Ryan was in community college, studying graphic design, still quiet but opening up more. We'd watch movies together when our parents were out, sharing popcorn, laughing at the same scenes. Mom and David encouraged it. Good to see you two getting along like siblings. But for me, it wasn't sibling-like. I caught myself staring at his smile, wondering why he never seemed interested in me that way. He dated a couple girls briefly, but nothing stuck. I had flings too, but my thoughts kept drifting back to him. One Friday night, everything shifted. I'd gone out with friends to a club downtown, dancing, music thumping, a few drinks to loosen up. I wasn't hammered, but tipsy enough that the world felt fuzzy and bold. Cab home around 1 a.m., house dark except for a light in Ryan's room. Mom and David were asleep early, they had work Saturdays. I stumbled in quietly, kicked off shoes, headed to my room. But loneliness hit hard that night. Friends had paired off, and I felt left out. In my room, I stripped off my club outfit, tight dress, heels, feeling free. Slipped on my old robe, soft cotton, but didn't tie it tight. Mind buzzing from drinks, impulse took over. Ryan's room down the hall, door cracked, phone glow visible. I walked over, knocked softly. "Hey, you up?" Whisper. "Yeah, come in," his voice casual. Pushed door open. He was in bed, propped on pillows, scrolling phone, room lit by a lamp. Posters on walls, desk cluttered with art supplies. He looked up, surprised but not annoyed. "What's up? Good night out?" I stepped in, closing door. "Kinda, but lonely now. Can I hang for a bit?" Voice a bit slurred, but honest. He nodded, patting bed. "Sure." Heart racing, I approached. Robe loose. As I sat, it slipped open slightly, but I didn't fix it. He noticed, eyes widening a bit, but said nothing. We talked about the club, his night gaming. Laughter came easy. Then, bold from alcohol, I said, "Scoot over, I want to lay down." He did, curious. I stood, let robe fall completely, my bare form exposed in lamplight, and quickly slid under the covers beside him. He froze, breath catching. "Emily, what?" Voice shocked but not angry. I snuggled close, body against his. "Just want to be with you, is that okay?" Silence stretched, then he relaxed slightly. "Yeah, okay." Arm around me tentatively. Warmth enveloped us, closeness comforting and thrilling. We lay there, talking softly, bodies entwined in that intimate space. Moment tender, full of unspoken emotions, leading to a deep connection that felt natural yet surprising. Morning light woke me. He was still asleep, arm over me. Slipped out quietly, robe on, back to room. Heart pounding. What had I done? Days after, awkward at first, avoiding eyes at breakfast, but soon glances lingered, smiles shared. Something had shifted. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a complicated path that would redefine our family. Stay tuned for part 2, where the secret closeness becomes a habit and emotions get even more tangled. Part 2. The secret closeness becomes a habit, stolen moments and growing feelings. If this complicated step-family tale has you hooked, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and comment below. What's the most unexpected connection you've ever felt with someone close to home? Let's keep going. After that night in Ryan's room, the house felt different. Mornings at breakfast, Mom and David chatting about work, Ryan and I passing the cereal. Everything looked normal on the surface, but our eyes would meet for a second longer, a small smile shared, a secret buzzing between us. I replayed it in my head constantly, the warmth under the covers, the way he held me close, the tenderness that felt so right in the moment. Guilt flickered because of our parents, but excitement overpowered it. He was the same Ryan, quiet, artistic, but now I saw him differently, and from his glances, he saw me too. Days passed awkwardly at first. We'd avoid being alone, sticking to group activities, family movie nights where I'd sit on the couch with Mom, him in the recliner, but tension built. One afternoon, parents out grocery shopping, I knocked on his door. "Hey, can I come in?" He nodded, headset off from gaming. We talked about that night, how it felt unexpected but good. He admitted he'd thought about me that way for a while, but held back because of family. Relief washed over me. I wasn't alone in it. From then, stolen moments became our thing. Late nights when parents slept, I'd slip into his room or he'd come to mine. Door closed softly, under covers whispering about dreams, fears, daily life. Closeness comforting, bodies pressed together in warmth, sharing tenderness that deepened our bond. Always quiet, careful not to wake anyone. Mornings back to normal sibling act. Weekends, parents at work or errands, house empty. We'd hang in living room, watching shows, him sketching while I drew too. Conversations flowed. Art techniques, favorite music, future plans. Touches casual at first, hand on arm, head on shoulder, then more, cuddling on couch, warmth building to intimate embraces that left us breathless but connected. Ryan opened up more, shared sketches he'd hidden, beautiful landscapes, portraits. One looked suspiciously like me. I showed my portfolio, vulnerable about critiques. He encouraged, said I had talent, felt seen in new way. One evening, parents at dinner with friends, we cooked together, pasta, sauce from scratch, laughing at messes, eating at table, feet touching under. After, dishes done, music on low, slow dance in kitchen, arms around each other, swaying. Moment sweet, leading to couch where closeness deepened again, tender, full of unspoken affection. Guilt came in waves. Mom's so happy with David, family stable. What if this ruined it? But pull too strong. Ryan said same, loved his dad, adored Mom, but feelings for me real. Summer brought more freedom. Parents' vacation, week alone, house hours. Days lazy, sleeping in, breakfast in bed for each other, movie marathons. Nights exploring connection, warmth under sheets, whispers until dawn. Bond grew profound, like discovering soulmate in an unexpected place. Back to routine, careful again, but habit set. Nights together when possible, texts during the day with hearts, inside jokes. Fall, my graduation neared. Ryan proud, helping study. Emotions intensified, fear of change if I moved out. Then, one close call almost exposed everything. Stay tuned for part 3, where a family trip forces us to confront the risks and feelings get impossible to hide. Part 3, the family trip. Risks rise and the secret becomes harder to hide. If this step-sibling tale has you on the edge of your seat, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and comment below. What's the closest you've ever come to a secret being exposed? Let's continue. The summer after my graduation flew by in a haze of secret closeness with Ryan. I started my first full-time job at a graphic design firm downtown, commuting by bus, learning the ropes of professional life. Ryan was deep into his graphic design program, projects piling up, but we made time for each other whenever possible. Parents were thrilled, Mom bragging about my job to her friends, David patting Ryan on the back for good grades. Family dinners were regular, everyone around the table sharing days. On the surface, perfect blended family. Underneath, Ryan and I exchanged knowing looks, feet brushing under the table, hearts racing from the risk. Our moments together became more frequent, more meaningful. Weeknights, parents asleep by 10, I'd tiptoe to his room or he'd come to mine. Door locked softly, under covers whispering plans, dreams. Closeness warm, comforting, full of tenderness that made me feel truly seen. We'd talk for hours about art inspirations, favorite books, what we wanted from life. He sketched me sometimes, quick lines capturing my smile. I'd trace patterns on his back, feeling his breath steady. Weekends, when parents had date nights or errands, house empty longer. We'd cook elaborate meals, trying recipes from online, laughing at failures like burnt pasta, eating on the couch, legs tangled, watching shows, but mostly talking. Those times, connection deepened, sharing vulnerabilities, supporting each other through stresses, job frustrations for me, school pressure for him, felt like partners in everything. But guilt gnawed constantly. Mom's so happy, planning family vacations, talking grandkids someday. David treating me like his own, teaching car maintenance. How could I betray that? Ryan felt it too. Late nights, he'd hold me tighter, whispering we had to be careful. Don't want to hurt them, he'd say. But stopping seemed impossible, the pull too strong. Then came the family trip that nearly undid us. Mom surprised us for David's birthday, a long weekend at a cabin in the Rocky Mountains. Family bonding time, she announced. Packed the SUV, coolers, board games, hiking gear, drive up winding roads, singing old songs, stopping for photos at scenic overlooks. Cabin cozy, wood beams, stone fireplace, a loft with extra beds. 2 bedrooms downstairs for parents and us kids sharing the loft with twin beds pushed together for space. First day hiking, trails through pines, waterfalls crashing, air crisp. Group photos, laughs, packed lunches on rocks. Ryan and I lagged behind sometimes, hands brushing, quick smiles. Parents ahead, oblivious. Evenings by fire, s'mores, stories from parents' early days. Ryan and I on couch, blanket shared, feet touching. Tension electric, wanting more but couldn't. Night 1, loft dark, parents snoring below. Ryan whispered my name. I slipped to his bed, under covers. Closeness quiet, intense in the stillness. Warmth shared, tenderness whispered. Heart pounding from risk, creaky floors, thin walls. Moment profound, but fear mixed in. Morning acted normal, pancakes, coffee, but close call. Mom came up for blankets, we jumped apart just in time. Day 2, boating on lake, rented pontoon, fishing, swimming, splashing, sunbathing on deck. Ryan and I in the water, away from the boat, treading, talking low, hands held underwater, moment stolen. Night 2, storm rolled in, thunder, rain on roof. Parents to bed early. Loft, lightning flashes. Ryan pulled me close during claps, comforting. Closeness again, emotions high from storm and secrecy. But morning 3, disaster nearly struck. Mom up early for breakfast.
I overslept in Ryan's bed. Mom called up, "Kids, food." Panic. Slipped back to my bed quick, but blanket tangled. David came up for something, saw rumpled sheets, raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. Drive home tense for us, normal chat for parents, but seed planted. Were we getting sloppy? Back home, careful doubled, but feelings stronger, harder to contain. Then one family dinner changed the game. Stay tuned for part 4, where a confession looms and the secret threatens to shatter everything.
Part 4. The confession looms. A family dinner turns everything upside down. After the cabin trip, Ryan and I were more careful than ever. The close calls, rumpled sheets, lingering looks made us paranoid. We limited our time alone to absolute minimum. Quick hugs when parents weren't looking, texts with coded messages like, "Thinking of that movie we watched," meaning, "I miss you." But the feelings didn't fade. They grew stronger. Workdays dragged, waiting for evenings when we could at least sit near each other on the couch during family TV time, feet touching under a shared blanket. My job at the design firm was going well. Promotions talked about, projects I loved. Ryan excelled in school, portfolio winning awards, parents proud, planning a big celebration dinner for his 21st birthday, restaurant booked, extended family invited. I helped plan, cake flavors, decorations, but inside, turmoil. Every smile for photos felt fake. Birthday night arrived. Fancy Italian place, white tablecloths, candlelight, aunts, uncles, cousins, table long and loud. Toasts to Ryan. David emotional about his son growing up. Mom gushing about how he's like a brother to me. Words stung. Ryan's eyes met mine across table. Quick, loaded glance. Dinner delicious. Pasta, salad, tiramisu, wine for adults. Ryan and I sipped slowly. Conversation flowed. Work stories, vacation plans, funny childhood memories. But under table, Ryan's foot found mine. Gentle pressure. Heart raced. Pulled away fast. After dessert, gifts opened. New drawing tablet from parents, art books from me. He hugged everyone. Thank yous genuine. Hug for me last. Proper, quick, but hands lingered on back a second too long. Mom noticed, laughed. "You two are so sweet, like real siblings, finally." Drive home, Terrence in front singing along to the radio. Ryan and I in back, hands hidden between us, fingers intertwined. Risky, but couldn't resist. That night, parents asleep early from wine. Ryan texted, "Come over?" Slipped to his room. Door closed, immediate embrace. Warm, desperate from days' restraint. Undercovers, closeness intense, full of everything unsaid. Whispered about fears. What if someone finds out? What then? He held me tighter. "We'll figure it. I can't lose you." Morning, back to normal, but seed of confrontation planted. Weeks later, another family dinner. Casual at home, mom's lasagna. Table set, wine poured. Talk light until David asked Ryan about dating. Any special girl yet? Ryan froze, glanced at me. I choked on water. Mom laughed. He's shy, like his dad was. But David pressed gently. "You're 21 now. Time to bring someone home." Ryan set fork down. "Actually, there is someone." Room quieted. Mom excited. "Who? Tell us." Ryan looked at me, then parents. "It's complicated." Voice shaky. I panicked, kicked his shin under table. "Stop." But he continued. "I've been seeing someone for months. Someone close." Parents confused. "David, friend of Emily's?" Ryan shook head. Eyes on me. "It's Emily." Silence deafening. Mom's glass slipped, spilling wine. David's face drained color. "What do you mean?" Voice low. Ryan explained. "Started after that night I came to his room, grew from there. Feelings real, deep." I sat frozen, tears starting. Mom cried, "My daughter and my stepson? How long?" David angry. "This is wrong. You're like brother and sister." Argument erupted. Voices raised, accusations. Betrayal, lies. What about family? Ryan defended.
We're not blood. We love each other. I finally spoke. It's true. I'm sorry we hid it. Mom and David devastated. Mom left the table sobbing. David demanded we stop immediately. Night ended in chaos. Doors slammed, no resolution. Days after, house cold. Separate meals, avoided eyes. Parents talked separation, therapy. But one conversation changed the trajectory. Stay tuned for part 5, the finale, where the family faces the truth and an unexpected path forward emerges.
Part 5. The Reckoning and the Path Forward. Heartbreak, Healing, and a New Beginning. Hey everyone, this is the finale. If you've made it through all 5 parts with me, thank you from the deepest part of my heart. This story has been the most difficult one I've ever shared, but telling it has brought closure I didn't know I needed. Your comments, kindness, and own stories have carried me through. This is where the secret explodes, the family breaks, and somehow we find a way to rebuild. Grab a tissue if you need one. After Ryan's confession at that birthday dinner, the house turned into a war zone of silence and slammed doors. Mom couldn't look at me without crying. David's anger was quiet but heavy. He'd leave the room when Ryan or I entered. Meals were separate, conversations minimal. Ryan and I barely spoke, even privately, guilt and fear too thick. We slept in our own rooms, doors locked, hearts aching. Mom and David had long talks behind closed doors. I overheard snippets. How did we miss this? They're like siblings. What will people think? Therapy suggested. Family counselor. First session, brutal. Tears, accusations, pain poured out. Mom felt betrayed by both of us. David struggled with losing trust in his son. Ryan and I sat side by side, holding hands under the table, explaining it started unintentionally, grew from living together, feelings real despite the labels. Counselor helped us talk. Boundaries, consequences, future. No easy fixes. Parents set rules. No more closeness, separate living if needed. Ryan moved to campus dorm temporarily. I stayed, but house felt empty. Months of sessions. Pain raw. Mom grieving the perfect family image. David wrestling with protecting everyone. Ryan and I met secretly at coffee shops, parks, talking, supporting, refusing to let go. Love stronger through the storm. Turning point came one night. Mom found me crying in my room, old photos out. She sat, held me like when I was little. "I'm scared of losing you," she whispered. I sobbed. "I never wanted to hurt you." We talked hours, my loneliness after Dad left, how Ryan filled a void, how feelings snuck up. She shared her own fears blending families. First, real understanding. David took longer. One weekend, Ryan and David went fishing, old tradition. Came back quieter. Later, David pulled me aside. "I see how you look at each other. It's real." I hate it, but it's real. Tears in his eyes. "Just be careful with hearts." Slowly, healing began. Rules loosened. Ryan moved back in, but with open doors, no overnights. Family dinners resumed, awkward but trying. Therapy continued, learning communication, forgiveness. A year later, Ryan and I moved into an apartment together, small, ours. Parents visited, tense at first, but warming. Mom brought housewarming gifts, hugged us both. David helped move furniture, gruff but there. Today, years on, we're married. Quiet courthouse ceremony, parents there, teary but supportive. Kids came, 2 little ones with Ryan's green eyes, my wavy hair. Family gatherings full now, holidays loud, grandkids running. Mom and David adore them, scars faded to stories we rarely tell. We learned love doesn't always follow rules, but honesty and time can heal even deepest wounds. Family redefined, not perfect, but stronger. Thank you for listening. If you're facing complicated feelings or family pain, talk, seek help, choose love carefully. This is Emily, signing off with gratitude. Take care of each other.